The Moondance Cancer Initiative wants to change outcomes from cancer for people in Wales. We think it's a continuum. It's about prevention, it's about early diagnosis, it's about good treatments, and it's about living long with cancer or after it's been cured. That's our objective, and we think it starts with people in schools.
The Moondance Cancer Initiative was set up in order to address a real concern from health colleagues about the number of people in Wales who are not just getting bowel cancer but also unfortunately dying of cancer.
We're really proud to be working with Pontypridd High School and other schools in the Rhondda Cynon Taf area. Cancer has always had a stigma attached to it, but in fact so many cancers are curable now. We believe that it's really important to start this conversation at school. Young people need to understand and be comfortable talking about it. We know also that they'll influence their parents and their grandparents as well. Young people are the key, which is why we're dealing with schools.
The Cwm Taf Morgannwg Health Board's population health strategy is focused on improving the healthy life expectancy of its population, which means the number of years lived in good health. So when Mr Hugh Cripps, head teacher of Pontypridd High School, approached with a view to getting involved in this project, it was an ideal opportunity to bring together our health strategy together with the new curriculum in Wales, the opportunities that afforded.
Funding was received from the Moondance Foundation in order to look at different strategies and innovative ways so that we could develop a learning programme that could not just educate the children in schools, but by educating the children we could also work with their parents, their carers and other family members in their community.
Bowel cancer is common in Wales. About 2,200 people present with it every year in Wales. We also know that more people die from it than should do. In fact, if you present early with bowel cancer, we can cure almost everybody. Almost always using keyhole surgery and almost always not requiring anything that's going to affect your life afterwards.
So the key theme within the school's learning programme was to develop a learning resource really based around cancer and bowel cancer. Schools traditionally have taught personal and social education and PSE, but cancer hasn't ever been really right at the front of any of this work. And now we were talking about developing a learning programme that was titled Cancer, Bowel Cancer.
I fod yn onest, dwi ddim yn sialens mawr I ymrwymo'r prosiect I fewn i'r cwricwlwm, gan ei fod e'n trawsgwricwlaidd gyda gwyddoniaeth, mathemateg, felly mae wedi bod yn braf gael cynllun sydd wirioneddol yn barod I trosglwyddo i'r cwricwlwm newydd.
We've been doing a lot of work about how you can get bowel cancer, what you can do about it, and posters like healthy eating and exercising. Also showing how a bad cell, can grow and become multiple bad cells and soon can infect your bowel.
We were nervous about coming into schools, about whether or not young people were ready for this conversation. But the big thing that we found out is that actually people have got an appetite for it. They want to talk about it, they want to discuss it. And because it's relevant to them, to their families and to their communities, there's been real engagement and they've climbed right on board with this project.
Ar y cyfan mae'r ymateb wedi bod yn gwych o disgyblion. Maen nhw'n hoffi dweud am y sgyrsiau maen nhw wedi cael gyda rhieni nhw pan maen nhw wedi bod adre a chwod, nain a tad cu yn ymwedig hefyd dyna'r oedran pwysica. Bod yna sens o gymuned hefyd a bod y sgyrsiau yn digwydd tu hwnt I stafell y dosbarth.
One of the main things we've looked at with our schools project is bowel screening. We've talked about how this programme works, we've talked about the numbers of people that engage with the programme and how we might improve that, issues surrounding the stigma attached to bowel cancer and also to bowels in general, and try to tackle that.
Men and women aged late 50s to mid 70s are invited to undertake this test every 2 years. So this is available to eligible people in Wales. However, only some 6 in 10, 60% of people take up that offer.
In our area, there isn't many people who sign up or book for screening tests. But we're trying to tell family and friends about screening tests, like a ripple effect. So if people tell other people, and then other people tell other people, it will hopefully get from one family to another family, passing down generations.
The work that we're undertaking around bowel screening is part of the Moondance programme, whereby the young people are getting experience of working with the test kits, will filter through to increase the uptake of bowel screening kits amongst their parents and grandparents. Whilst that will have an impact locally, it certainly provides a template that could then be scaled up nationally, then result in an increase in screening across the whole of Wales.
We are trying to integrate it into things like English, where they've been doing debates and speeches, in RE where they're learning about the importance of charity work, and then in science where they were doing the screening lessons. One of the best lessons we've had is they became radio DJs and they had to do a slot and a programme about the risks, the signs and the symptoms.
One of the successes that we can look at through the learning programme has been the feedback that we've received from students, from staff, parents, carers, other family members. At the start of the programme, we've had discussions with them, we've taken survey information. So at the end of the programme, when we've repeated those surveys, the evidence clearly shows that across the board, the awareness so that knowledge and understanding has improved. And crucially, really, we've got more people now within the screening programme. They're able to look for signs and symptoms as well. Therefore, there are more people seeking advice and support when they need it. And that was one of the fundamental things behind the whole setting up of the education programme.
I've learned about the symptoms, mostly about how it affects you, how it spreads. I've talked to my mum to tell her to stop smoking. It can cause it to spread a lot more.
Byddwn ni ddim dweud mae'n anodd, mae'n mwy o relief oherwydd rydw i wedi colli fy nhad a 8 neu 9 mlwydd oed. So fi'n hapus fod mae pobl yn dysgu amdano fe a nhw gallu efallai catcho fe mewn amser a ddim angen mynd trwy poen.
This is certainly something which has broken new ground, certainly from a school's point of view, and something which needs to be maintained and taken forward, because the potential for that, not just in this area, but in all areas of Wales, is huge. And it is a means by which we can look at all sorts of community health issues and use schools as a vehicle to look at how we can positively influence what goes on.
Sometimes it takes a generation to change things. Bringing in this understanding of these diseases now will influence the whole of society later, make us healthier, make us happier, and allow us to live for longer.